My love to the T in LGBT+. I often think about the trans community and how much I wish I could hug every single one of them. They are, without a doubt, the most persecuted of the community. There's vitriol targeted at them at every turn through television, social media, on the damn street, and not only are they ostracized by the cis-straight crowd, they're often ostracized by people in the damn LGBT community. Prime example, that moronic and shameful LGBT alliance by cis lesbians, gay, and bi individuals. How disgusting to cut out the very group that made the modern gay rights movement even possible. Anyway, the point of this post was just so any trans folk in this subreddit know that you are very much seen and loved, and I'm sorry for the society we live in that may make you doubt that. You all deserve the absolute world and have the right just as much as any of us to live as your own, unapologetic selves. I wish you all peace and love, and I will continue to hope for a more open-minded world for all of us. Red heart. Thank you. It's definitely not a oppression contest. They want to come after all of us, but their main target is us right now because we're newer to public awareness. Thanks. The world needs more people like you who genuinely care about the trans community. Anyways, I shall contribute to your wish to hug every single trans person, because I kinda need a hug. I hope a virtual hug will suffice for now. There are plenty of people out there who share the same beliefs as me. You aren't alone. You know your history. True ally behavior. I send you a virtual hug because I also know what our real allies go through whenever they stand up for us. You all also face social discrimination and harassment. Thank you. May we never forget sacrifices of Sylvia, Marcia, Miss Major, and the other beautiful trans souls throughout our history. We wouldn't be here today without them. Hey, thanks. You're sweet. I lost a lot of my LGBTQ friends when I came out as trans, the people who I thought would be most supportive. We are a very misunderstood segment of the population, by straight and queer folk alike. I think a lot of misunderstanding comes from the denial and/or disbelief that trans people could possibly feel our gender as incongruent with our sex assigned at birth. Whether that is from the right, there is no such thing as gender, there is only immutable binary sex. Or from the left, gender is 100% a social construct. You only think you are feeling it because society/patriarchy has told you to feel that way, but you do you. I mean, I sort of understand the confusion. If one's internal gender, as part of their sense of self, has always aligned to their physical body, then how could somebody possibly fully understand how it feels when it doesn't? Dysphoria. And of course there are trans people who don't experience dysphoria, who are equally valid, but which further complicates the whole thing. In the end, if cis people would just listen to and believe trans people and talk to us rather than about us, it would do a world of good. So thank you for being a good ally. It's genuinely crazy how much vitriol is there for trans people. Every time I have to log on to Facebook, so I can check in on relatives, I get swamped with transphobia. The minority stress just being a queer person is enough. I can't imagine how it feels to have your identity questioned and hated at every turn. Being trans is inherently respectable immo. Lately, freedom has been extremely important to me, and I utterly loathe mindless animals who don't think for themselves, and trans people inherently kinda follow this. It's like they have society, nature, and God himself telling them to be their assigned gender, and yet they refuse to back down. They assert who they truly are to the world anyways. It is truly magnificent. I'm not trans, but I also support the trans people. They introduced me, unknowingly, to a little thing called being myself. If it wasn't for trans people, I wouldn't have heard about being attracted to the same gender. If it wasn't for them, I couldn't feel welcomed. Love them all. Thank you. I love seeing positive posts, especially this week. My therapist will lose all of her tissues today. It can often be hard to remember that we do have allies. The loudest voices tend to be coming from a place of hate, but the majority of people want everyone to be happy being themselves.